Hey guys, I just want home buyers approaching their closing date to be very, very careful. I just had this happen 2 times in the last week, largely coming from either desperate or misinformed mortgage professionals. One occasion was at the bank, one occasion was another broker. If you are getting close to your closing date and you already have a mortgage approval, like we're talking 1 to 2 weeks out, I really would highly recommend not starting something new elsewhere. I'm all for shopping for the right person and the right product, especially when it comes to home ownership, but there's a time and a place to do that. 1 to 2 weeks before your closing date is a very, very dangerous time to do that. More importantly, anyone who actually cares about your well-being and not the sale of a transaction for themselves should be very cautious about jumping into your file 2 weeks before your closing for the first time. One of the top ways to recognize this is someone is throwing out an interest rate without actually reviewing your file, your income, your documents, and your credit. Just this week, we had a bank representative send out a rate to a client who they asked us if we could match, which we were able to, but we fully well knew that with this lender, our client could not qualify to get approved the same way that we had them approved. And what it would have actually meant if we stepped away from the file. At the 11th hour, a $300,000 home equity line of credit that was super important for them to open up would have had to have been canceled, or they would have had to come up with an extra $250,000 in down payment, which they obviously didn't have. On another occasion, we had a mortgage broker step into a file 10 days before closing and launched an application blindly to a lender that we actually already had the client approved with. That lender declined that file for the other broker, but what the client doesn't know, and what I'm not sure if the broker knew and neglected, was that sending in a file to a lender that's already approved a file can automatically disqualify and decline that file when 2 different applications come in that may have different or conflicting information. This would have put the client out in approval for closing and put their deposit at risk. All for shopping your mortgage, but do it leading up to your purchase or maybe even during your conditional period. Don't do it 2 weeks before closing. You're putting yourself and your family at risk.